public service announcement. I used, you see how I got this all cleaned up here because it was so ugly in my other videos? Don't use masking tape. I used masking tape because it's all I had, and if you can see the edges up there, I can't even get them off right now. They're kind of painted in. I'm going to have to razor blade them off, so get yourself blue painter's tape. I got a quick clip for you right here.
Give me a second. Let me who that is. I don't know who it is. Counselor Garvey, how may I help you?
But not everybody gets access to free parking spots like Selena.
The price is $2,500 per month. That includes all utilities and taxes.
Once a low-cost option for tourists, this RV park in an industrial corner of San Francisco now charges as much for a parking spot as some Bay Area apartments do for rent. It houses people who take on some of the city's toughest jobs: dock workers, janitors,
you seen this
and
bullshit? $2,500 a month to live in a parking lot,
It doesn't include the
and
RV
people
itself.
are lining up to pay it. That's the world we're living in right now, you guys. I don't even know, like, where's the next step, you know? I've lived like that. I actually thought, man, I mean, the woods is horrible, but, because you gotta make, back then when I was there, it was, if you were buying solar panels, they didn't work. If you got any shade on them, stuff like that, everything was misery. They didn't have shower. They had shower systems were so expensive that you had to use watering cans. I think I'd rather go back to that than this parking lot here that you just seen. $2,500 a month to live in that dump. Can you imagine the babies screaming at night, crying? And people fighting with their wives and people drinking and screaming, and it's a living hell, people. They're paying $2,500 to live in a living hell. And now I know you're probably thinking, like I was thinking, well, it is California, so it's always going to be crazy, especially when you're talking up in $2,500, people. I was in California probably 10 years ago, and you could rent right damn near on the water for $2,500 a month. Even in town here, you can't even find you go look downtown in some of the dumpiest old houses that are just what they call landlord specials, where they just paint them all white. And they're going for $900, $1,000 a month for just a dumpy one bedroom. I mean, a dump. How about this next clip I got for you? If we're not just talking about housing, let's talk about new car prices. Because I'm in the automotive field, so I can give you insight on that.
Well, Steph and I am standing in the Ford area. That vehicle right behind me, that's the Ford F-150. It is the most popular vehicle in America, and it sells for $78,640. That's the manufacturer's.
Are you hearing this, people? $80,000. 80,000. And we all know that if you make them payments over what is it, 7-10 year period, you're talking at least 2 times the price of a vehicle you're paying. Think about that. What is that? I don't even want to break that down. If I break that down, what is a car payment like that? What is that? 150. Like it seems so preposterous to even say 150,000. Is that what it is if you have to make all the payments? And let me tell you something about these fucking cars, because I've been working on them. I got to see a couple of these Mustangs and Ford F-150s. They're made out of listen. The steel they got for the frames on these things are so cheap and chintzy. I don't even know how to explain it to you. I don't even know what to say about it. You got no chance. You got no chance in saving them. These cars ain't going to be around like the old ones. Like now you can still find the old F-150s, you know. They had, you know, huge reinforced truck frames. They've changed all the makeup of these steel. The steel is so light and cheap to save on gas mileage. You're not going to see these cars. If you see these cars in 10 years, I mean, these cars used in 10 years, everything's going to be rotted right out of them. There's no way you're going to see these vehicles make it 20 years. Never. That's the world we're living in. We're living in a living hell, don't you think? An absolute living hell. $80,000 MSRP on an F-150, guys. Back in what, 2005, the top of the line was what? I mean, Harley Davidson editions are probably going for what, $25,000 or something. And I know you're like, oh, inflation. No, we've gotten to the point where this is just insanity. I was at the grocery store and it said, it had cases of soda saying it was on sale for $13.99 on sale. Think about that. Only 5 years ago, you could get a case of soda for $4.99 some weeks at Walmart. A case of Mountain Dew, $4.99 to $6.99 was high. And you're telling me it's normal for it to be $15 a case of soda? And it's not only that. So now you got the housing we're talking about. You got the car industry we're talking about. So you got this. You're gonna get this hunk of shit house if you get one for $250,000. It's gonna be a hunk of shit. I'm telling you right now, a hunk of shit. Hunk of shit. Siding coming off, roof leaking. You're gonna get that. That's gonna be standard. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's what you're gonna get. They might take these nice pictures on Zillow and stuff with their cameras to make them look cute and pretty. The moment you get in there and the first big rainstorm comes around, because I get the calls. That's what I did for a long time. I was in the on-call service for any type of stuff like that. And that's all I heard. Every time I showed up, somebody that bought a new house, it was all I get. First rainstorm, I'd be getting the calls, and I'd be showing up, and it would be, when it was freezing, it was furnaces, and when it was raining, they'd find out that the chimney, every single chimney leaks, and it's got mold. I'd have to rip the ceiling out upstairs, and that was if they were lucky I could take care of it for a reasonable price, you know. Almost every time. So yeah, I painted this ceiling here. I was gonna put up a video, but it was just too boring in general. So okay, so where am I going with this? Well, okay, let's add in. Say that's $150,000. I looked at the thing online that said you're gonna spend. The average person in a family is gonna spend upwards of $250,000 on vehicles in their life. It's gonna be more than that. That was years ago. I looked that up. So just being an auto mechanic, if you're looking to get into a trade. And I've sold every car I've ever bought for more than I paid for it. I have worked on it myself. You're just being an auto mechanic could save you $250,000 in your lifetime. So that's where I was going with the automobile. But you better start getting thrifty because AI is taking all these jobs. We're living in a living hell. And not only that, so we're gonna go around why we're in the living hell. So now you got a car payment, you're what, a couple $1,000 a month, upwards of a couple $1,000 a month. That's probably the high end. You got a house payment that's definitely a couple thousand a month. You're already at $4,000 a month average right there, right? With all your bills and everything in just on the house payment and the car payment. And then let's talk about, what did I tell you about
Lincoln
this?
says it's closing hundreds of restaurants here in the U.S. as the burger giant flips its strategy. Let's talk about this. So the company says sales fell more than 10% last quarter, and now it expects to shut down between 5 and 6% of its U.S. locations by summer. Now, that is on top of the more than 240 stores that closed in 2024.
Did you hear her? What did I tell you? I like how you know what they're, and it's not just them. I could have put a bunch of clips. I didn't want to cut them all out, but it was McDonald's closing 1,000 stores. You have Burger King's closing. Who knows? God knows how many. And I like how they all call them restructuring plans. Yeah, right. Restructuring plans. Yeah. Restructuring. They're so full of shit. So you got these restaurants treating people so bad that nobody's even going out to eat at them anymore. 10%, you hear that? The company itself lost 10%. They're trying to make a positive spin on it, calling it a restructuring. Yeah, right. You got Taco Bell thinking that they're going to go into cafes. They're going to try to make cafes for coffee and get real. How about you just treat your customers decent when they're there? I haven't eaten out since that last video I made when I was so mad. Remember? I haven't eaten out since then. Look at me, I'm making more bacon. I'd rather eat a bacon sandwich than go to Wendy's right now. I'm serious. The disappointment you get is so much greater than the flavor that the way you're treated, it's just unreal. Same with Dairy Queen. I'll throw on that list this week or the last time I went there. What was that? That was the last visit I did was Dairy Queen. If they would have just treated me well, I would have probably been there a couple times already. So they probably lost I go once a week just for me alone, they probably lost $125 in the last month from not going anymore. I used to love going there. So there you go, we're living in hell. You're paying what? $2,000, $1,500 for a car payment, $2,000 to $2,500 to have your own home, and you're getting treated like shit and charged $50 a meal. I don't even know how people are making it. What's going on? Where's the army of people that just can't take it anymore? That's what I've been waiting for. Waiting for the streets to just packed with people that just can't take it anymore. You know, it's coming. It's got to be close. Electric bills and stuff we went over last time going up to $300-400, and these are regular communities, man. It's coming. We're gonna see it soon. There's no way they can keep hiding it behind the curtain. You know, because media really likes to. You can see in Mexico once something breaks, they're not showing it on the media. They already got 50 soldiers dead in Mexico over that killing of that cartel leader. You know. Crazy. And you can already see the media hiding it the best they can. They can't even get the Americans out of there. They're going to have to bring in the army. I mean, you can already see that the world's on the brink of a all-out disaster. You know, how long is it going to be before the Mexican soldiers, the military soldiers, how many are going to die before they decide that it ain't worth it for the pesos they're given to be in the military, you know? They're not paid enough. It won't be long. They're going to lose complete control of that situation unless the U.S. military comes in. But that's all political, and you know that Mexican president doesn't want that to happen. Because then it just looks like she's losing control, you know, which she already has, but she's not willing to admit it. You can just see the fires from space. They're going to go after the Americans soon, you know. They better have a lot of police and military protecting these Americans because they're going to be kidnapped and all hell is going to break loose. Right here. It's got to be like this if you're going to make these sandwiches. Just like that. Light. Soak up that butter. You ever go to a restaurant, you always notice that they got real light toast. Unless you order something else. There's a reason for that, believe it or not. Believe it or not. There's a reason. Look how it soaks up that butter and it gets it nice and soft like that. Perfect. That's what you want. Anyway, yeah, I've been watching these clips today because I'm trying to just edit them in, and you know, nothing's gonna be perfect, nothing's gonna be smooth. The transition's really tough. Trying to learn how these guys watch them at the same time. Everybody's got a team; they know what they're doing. They're not like me. Trying to learn things, but I was thinking today, like the clips, like we're just living in hell. Like I'm gonna be fine because I'm thrifty. You know, I'm thrifty as hell. When I finally go down, everybody's going down because you name it, I do it myself. I put the roof on here. I got the furnace. I've repaired the furnace myself 100 times, probably 25 times. I fix all the cars. Every car I got was used, and I rebuilt it myself. And I'm feeling the crunch, people. I don't even know how. I don't know how society's gonna do it out there. I don't know. I just don't know we're on the brink, I think. You know, we're pretty isolated here in Green Bay as of right now, where we don't really see the same homeless problems and stuff as other parts of the country. But You just watching. I'm just watching. I got my bills are coming due. Every bill I got is just outrageous, and I get the cheapest stuff they offer. Every bill I got due. From my electric's $300, which is outrageous for just me living in a place, and I have all LED lights. Like, I don't understand how people are going to do it. How people are going to do it. How? They're going to work for what? 40 to 60 hours a week? Paying for families? How? For a low middle class family to have a house, 2 kids, 2 cars. Even if you just say like a cheap cars, the cheapest I can think of is $700 a month or something. That's $1,500 mortgage because they got a cheap little dump. That's $3,000. Food is outrageous. What is that? At least a week, $500. I don't think you could spend less if you had a whole family, right? You have to make $50,000 take home, so you're charging $70,000 a year. I don't know how long this can go on. Crazy. California, $25,000 to live in a parking lot. More than that. $30,000 to live in a parking lot. $30,000.
Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama.
I didn't have much to say today. I wanted to put clips together, and I'm glad you guys watched, but I had 80 views there, and just shut it off again after about 12 hours. It's like it's on a timer or something. I didn't think you get 80 views and then not 1 subscriber. It's a tough game. A lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong, my production quality is garbage. I get it. But I also watched a guy chug 2 glasses of apple juice and he got 70,000 views, and I just think. I watched one guy scream at himself in the mirror, messed up on drugs and alcohol, an old guy, and he got 35,000 views, and I think, what am I doing wrong? Well, you knew he was going to approve the bacon.